Well, I'm going to do my best to be timely. I saw some yawning. But ironically, the words that I have from my dad, biblical in nature, many people here have already echoed. I guess what I'm going to do is give you my point of reference from my dad. I got 48 years of stories. The majority of my stories were away the last 25 years. I've been with my wife and kids someplace else, as opposed to here. So I will use my notes and do my best to be timely.
Time yourself.
They say that you're never supposed to talk about time when you're talking. I'm a professional instructor these days, and with all due respect, if not for my dad, never would have happened. And speaking of my dad and the command and police work, I spent 20 years as a police officer. I would say probably to the benefit of many administrators at the agency I worked, the fact that they're still walking the earth and breathing is due to my dad's being able to talk me off the edge on a daily basis. So there is due diligence there, Danny. Thank you. Again, I'm David Agata. I'm his oldest son. Really, the plan for the week was I became unemployed about a month ago, and I've been doing some side work. I'm a professional instructor, a professional contractor, a mercenary, call it what you will. Unique set of skills, if you will. And I was working on the cruise lines for the last couple of weeks doing security for spring breakers, if that's even possible. They were quite scared of me, but I don't know why. My dad gave me the gift of schmooze. Not only with good guys, but bad guys. But the plan was this. I was going to get off the boat Sunday morning. He was going to pick me up. I figured we were good for some breakfast, maybe some lunch. We'd get back to his place, take a nap. My sisters were now in Florida. We're with my wife and my family. And they were coming back, and we were going to be able to, at some point between Sunday and Tuesday, go to the deli, which I have yet to have been to, but we did last night. I'll get to that in a second. And my dad and I were going to catch up, and most importantly, he was going to help me game plan what the forward motion was going to be, what was going to be the future for my life, how we were going to kind of sort through all the facts. That didn't mean that we didn't talk about it, but this was going to be a sit-down. This was going to be time where we could hash it out in our underwear, for lack of a better term, because that's what a father and a son do on Sunday and Monday morning before they go out for lunch. What I wanted to read first was from Malachi 4:6, and I think this will be very relevant for what you've heard. But it says, "He will turn the hearts of the parents to their children, and the hearts of the children to their parents." My father, as you heard today, he has been a father to everyone he's met. He has walked a walk that is biblical in nature and in size. It is who he is. It is part of his DNA. And in turn, is part of our DNA. That's my first point of encouragement. Up to and including our newest Agata coming soon. My dad, as you heard today, had given himself a little piece to every person he met. How you doing? Let me give this to you. And it really didn't matter. Again, that is the second bit of encouragement I have for you. Because every bit of that little person that he gave of himself, he's given to you. You now have a choice what you will do with that and how you will use that. I guess the most important thing that I can say, I can go on and on about how he taught me how to be a dad, and how to be this, and how to be a cop, and how to be a person, and how to be an instructor, and how to be a brother. But really what my dad taught me is do the right thing for the right reason. Because it really don't matter who's watching. When the tree falls, it don't matter if anyone hears it. It's down. We're going to cut it up and use it for firewood. My dad always said, do the right thing for the right reason. His mom, my grandma, said, listen to your heart. It'll direct you to do the right thing for the right reason. Now remember, keep in mind, she was the partner of my grandfather, the bookie, and kept a good book. Was always on time with the bets. However, he was the $2 to $5 bookie, and he did the right thing for the right reasons. He took care of his family. And that was passed down to my father. And I believe given to me and all of our young Agatas that are coming and all the grandchildren. He taught us how to do the right thing for the right reason. I guess the point is he lived that model. He lived it hard. He lived it strong. I want to talk about Job 42, and I'll just give you a little bit of it. It says, the Lord blessed him in his later part of his life. Job was blessed in his later part of his life as opposed to his former. And y'all, I don't know if y'all know the story of Job, but there's a cat that had some good stories to tell and took a real beating. But at the end of the day, it says that his daughters were blessed and his sons received blessings. And Job was able to see wonderful things. And I couldn't help but think, that's my dad. Because in his early life, which I was part of, a lot of struggles, a lot of kicking the teeth. However, he never allowed that to get in the way of how he treated his family, how he treated his kids. And you heard that. Y'all heard that firsthand. My dad was very clear with me when we had discussions about God and country and family. But he lived that. Let me give you a couple of thoughts to finish up with. I will tell you not so much how my dad died, but I'll tell you how he lived. And being in Nagata, we always like to take lines from movies, and that was a good Tom Cruise movie. When Ricky called me and told me on Sunday morning, if you just come straight to the house. Roger that. I don't want to be too graphic, but we had kind of a humorous conversation about, hey, why don't you go check on him? Got to watch what you say. But let me tell you how my dad lived up to the last minute of his life. You've heard a lot of stories. You've heard the stories from the last 60 years, from family, from kids, from the grandkids. Let me tell you where he was the last minute of his life and what he was doing. We found him at his desk. His wallet was out, which means he had counted his cash because he knew we were going to breakfast. His wallet was out. He had shaven, so he was ready. And his phone was in his hand. He was waiting for my phone call. I talked to him on Tuesday. I was at Port Canaveral, and we were going back and forth. He was telling me how to work on the boat. I'm like, Dad, I got it. Wait for my call Sunday morning. So up to the last minute of his life, to the last breath he took, he was serving. He was turning his children's heart to the Father. His last breath he took, he was thinking about me. And on his desk were all the pictures of all of you. Little side note, he was covered in cat hair. So I will leave you with this one thought. And at the end of Job, which has 42 chapters,
which you're not going to hear.
Which is not going to hear. It said, after this, Job lived 140 years. He saw his children and their children to the fourth generation. Talks about Job seeing blessing. You've heard that today. And so Job died, an old man and full of his years. That means he made the finish line. And I think I cannot be more encouraged to know that he helped each of us live to be the fullest that we could. And I will miss my conversations with him. I will miss his guidance. However, I am hoping that I will continue that guidance. I hope that I can walk in those shoes, and I choose to take that gift that my dad gave me, and I choose to fan that little flame into fire. And I want to encourage you today to, one, I know you will grieve, but not be sad. You have been blessed. You have been given a blessing, a mitzvah, a present in your knowing. And I want to encourage you to pass it forward. Because that's what he was all about, passing it forward. Kind of want to leave you with that. A little administrative note, because that's what my dad taught me about. There is a book in the back. If you choose to write something kind to my dad, a thought or a memory, I would encourage you to leave it there so that we can share in that. And I want to again thank you for being here today. That's all I got.